Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, quick question. When was the last time you actually thought about fiber, really thought about it?
I'd wager most people haven't thought about it since their doctor mentioned it in passing, and they nodded politely and then forgot about it entirely.
Exactly. And here's the thing, though. Fiber might be the most underrated nutrient in the entire wellness conversation. We obsess over protein, we debate healthy fats, and fiber is just sitting there quietly doing some genuinely remarkable things.
Right. And the numbers are striking. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, roughly 95% of Americans don't meet the recommended daily fiber intake. 95%, that's not a gap. That's a canyon.
So let's actually define what we're talking about, because I think most people hear fiber and they picture, a chalky supplement their grandmother kept next to the sink.
Right, here's what I've learned. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate, specifically the parts of plant foods your body can't fully digest. And that's actually the whole point. It passes through your system doing all sorts of useful work along the way.
And there are two main types, right? Because I definitely had to look this up when I started paying more attention to it.
Exactly. Soluble fiber, found in oats, beans, apples, citrus, dissolves in water and forms a kind of gel in your digestive tract. Insoluble fiber, found in whole grains, nuts, and most vegetables, adds bulk and keeps things moving. Both matter. Different jobs, both essential.
Okay, so let's dig into the science here, because David, when you first brought this topic to me, I did not expect what you told me about the research.
Right, so this is where it gets genuinely interesting. A landmark 2019 meta-analysis published in The Lancet, commissioned by the World Health Organization no less, reviewed over 240 studies and 43 randomized trials. The conclusion was that people with high fiber intake had a 20 to 30% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes compared to low fiber consumers.
20 to 30%, that is not a small number.
And that's dietary fiber from food, not supplements, real whole foods. The researchers, led by Professor Jim Mann at the University of Otago, were quite clear that the benefits were strongest from food sources rather than isolated fiber products.
Here's the thing, though. It's not just heart health and blood sugar. Can we talk about the gut microbiome piece? Because this is what actually got me paying attention.
Brilliant point. So your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, they essentially feed on fiber, particularly a type called prebiotic fiber. Researchers like Dr. Tim Spector at King's College London have done extensive work showing that fiber diversity in your diet directly correlates with microbial diversity in your gut.
And microbial diversity matters because
a diverse gut microbiome is linked to better immune function, lower inflammation, improved mood regulation. There's even emerging research on the gut-brain axis suggesting connections to anxiety and cognitive health. It's early days on some of that, but the gut-heart and gut-immune connections are well established.
Y'all, I want to be honest here. When I first heard the gut-brain connection stuff, my skeptic radar went off a little. David, I know you had some reservations too.
I did, actually. The microbiome field moves fast, and some of the popular claims have genuinely outpaced the evidence. I'd separate the established science, fiber's role in cardiovascular health, blood glucose regulation, satiety, from the more speculative territory. The core benefits are rock solid. Some of the mental health claims need more research.
Okay, that's fair, and I appreciate that. Let's keep it real. Speaking of keeping it real, can we talk about where most people actually fall short? Because I looked at my own eating and was humbled.
The recommended intake is 25 grams per day for women and 38 grams for men, according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. The average American gets about 15, so we're collectively leaving roughly half our daily target on the table.
I did a rough mental inventory of a typical Tuesday for me, and I was maybe hitting 18 on a good day. And I think I eat pretty well.
And this is where it's worth saying, if you've been listening to our previous episodes on anti-inflammatory eating, increasing fiber is one of the most practical ways to support that approach simultaneously. You're not adding a new goal, you're amplifying one you're already working on.
Okay, practical integration. This is my jam, because I don't want anyone walking away from this thinking they need a total kitchen overhaul.
Nor should they. The research actually suggests that gradual increases are better for your gut anyway. Jumping from 15 to 38 grams overnight is a recipe for discomfort, and that puts people off entirely.
So what does a realistic, non-miserable increase actually look like?
Small swaps with high return. Swap refined grains for whole grains. That alone can add 4 to 5 grams daily. Add a serving of beans or lentils a few times a week. Snack on nuts or an apple instead of processed options. These are not dramatic lifestyle changes.
I've been adding walnuts as a snack for a while now. which I mentioned when we talked about anti-inflammatory eating. And I genuinely didn't register it as a fiber strategy at the time, but it is. They've got about 2 grams per ounce.
And for the sandwich generation listeners, people managing meals for kids and aging parents simultaneously, the beauty of high-fiber whole foods is that they genuinely serve everyone at the table. Beans, oats, vegetables, these aren't niche health foods, they're just food.
Before we move on, y'all, if this conversation is landing for you, please hit that like and subscribe button. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need this kind of practical, no-nonsense wellness information. Okay, back to fiber.
Right. One thing I do want to address, and this comes up a lot, is the supplement question. Should people just take a psyllium husk supplement and call it done?
I have thoughts on this.
As do I. Supplements like psyllium husk, used in products like Metamucil, do have legitimate evidence behind them for specific outcomes like lowering LDL cholesterol. The Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health both acknowledge their utility, but they don't deliver the micronutrients, phytochemicals, and diverse fiber types that whole foods provide.
It's like the difference between taking a vitamin C tablet versus eating an actual orange. The supplement fills one gap. The food fills 12 gaps you didn't know you had.
Precisely. Supplements are a useful bridge, not a destination.
Here's the thing, though. There are real barriers. Cost, time, food access. Not everyone has the same options, and I want to name that without glossing over it.
Absolutely fair. And it's worth noting that some of the most fiber-dense foods, dried beans, lentils, oats, frozen vegetables, are among the most affordable foods available. This is one area where eating well and eating cheaply can actually align.
Canned beans, y'all, rinsed, they're a legitimate nutritional powerhouse and they cost next to nothing. I put them in everything.
And on the practical side, one study published in Nutrients in 2020 found that simply adding half a cup of beans to an existing meal without changing anything else significantly improved fiber intake and glycemic response in participants over 12 weeks. Small addition, meaningful result.
Okay, so if you're taking one thing from today, and I really want this to land, it's this. Fiber is not boring. It is not optional. And you don't need to overhaul your life to get more of it. Add a handful of beans, swap your bread, grab an apple. Start there.
Right. The evidence is unusually consistent on this one, across cardiovascular health, gut health, blood sugar regulation. If fiber were a pharmaceutical compound, it would be considered quite remarkable. It just happens to come in an unremarkable package.
Which is very on brand for the best things in life, honestly. Y'all, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We genuinely love being your informed friends on this wellness journey, wherever you are in it.
And if today's episode gave you something useful, and I rather think it did, do subscribe. We'll be here next time with something equally quietly important.
See you then. This show is part of the VoxCrea.AI system. If you want a show like this for your organization, without building it yourself,
go to VoxCrea.AI and request a sample episode.